Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Ksubos page 89, which discusses the two documents that a woman will have a connection to. One, in the event that she is divorced, of course, is a get, a divorce document, and also the Ksuba, which will entitle her to receiving some form of payment after the divorce. And of course, there is the potential controversy whether or not she was paid, whether or not she received her ksuba money, which of course would potentially be the claim of the ex-husband, and she would say that that's not the case. And because of this, the Talmud discusses that it's necessary for them to be able to produce the ksuba as well as the get, and it discusses also that perhaps when the ksuba is paid, that there is a receipt that is given to the man, possibly, in order to alleviate this potential concern that she may come and claim it a second time. He could simply pull out this receipt to verify, in fact, that he had once paid. Now, the Talmud tells us here that in the situation of sakana, of danger, and this is specifically talking about a time in which the country and the government in which ruled over us enforced very, very strict laws and said that we're not allowed to adhere to any of the mitzvot. So in that situation, one would be very careful about not having a divorce document. Instead, what they used to do is, of course, a divorce document had to be given to be legally divorced according to Jewish law, but they would immediately destroy it. And therefore, the fact that she wouldn't have this document would not necessarily verify anything that maybe she received her money. And also, in the event of a loan, now typically when someone has a loan, they have to pay it back. However, there is actually an exception that when it comes to the Shemitah year, when it comes to the 7th year, this sabbatical year, it cancels off all loans. And that is with the exception of a special document which is linked to the courts, which is called a prusbul, that Hillel instituted this document in order that loans should freely continue to take place. Otherwise, people would be very apprehensive to give out a loan, and then all of a sudden, they have a loophole of never having to pay it back once the sabbatical, the Shemitah year comes. Now, therefore, this prusbul is very important. But in the time of danger, in the event that there is no prusbul, that is not going to have any effect whether or not this person is allowed to collect or not. We'll say just the fact that this person does not have a prusbul, still we can assume that maybe a prusbul is written, and therefore the loan document is still a valid loan document. They just didn't want to have this because, again, of the dangers of having all these different documents which show that we're adhering to and upholding Jewish law. So we see from here, first of all, the great levels that we go, even the time where doing mitzvot were outlawed. It doesn't mean that we would just stop doing the Torah and the mitzvos, which of course is the goal of these people that wish to take this away from us. We would still do all the mitzvot, but we would do it in a hidden manner so that they wouldn't know about it. But we also see from here the sensitivity that the sages have. They realize that things do change in time. Namely, we have to look at the situation. And if it's in a time in which a person has a legitimate reason not to be holding on to these documents, then they could still be able to collect even without them.